Manga-Waido.
Hey, Koji, remember what's next Sunday?
How could I forget our big wedding anniversary? I've made reservations for a nice restaurant, so look forward to it.
I'm so happy. I love you, Koji. We're an ordinary couple celebrating our first wedding anniversary next month. The only thing that's a little unusual is that my husband changed his last name after we were married. Shiho and your husband are really close. Meeting each other on an overseas trip is like a drama. Stop it, you're embarrassing me. Speaking of which, are you planning to have kids? I'd like to have a child soon, considering our age. But we're both in the midst of important times at work right now. So we're talking about having kids a little later. I see. Don't your parents tell you they want grandchildren? Parents don't say that. And Koji's. Oh, they're insulated, right? That's why your husband wanted to change his last name to Shiho. Yeah, I've never met his parents. Koji, who originally grew up with a single parent, had been insulated from them for several years because of the way they treated him since he was a child. As an only child, Koji didn't have much contact with his relatives. So we had a small wedding which was only on my side of the family. Everyone has their own circumstances, and I'm glad that I married Koji even with those circumstances.
I'm home!
Oh, he's back. See you soon then. Bye.
Who were you talking to?
Just a friend.
I see. Oh, I'm going on a business trip tomorrow, so take care of the house, please.
Okay, how long will you be gone this time?
Overnight this time.
Koji works for a foreign pharmaceutical company, and his job requires him to travel frequently once or twice a month, and the length of the trip depends on the destination. It's usually one night, but when it's an overseas business trip, he sometimes doesn't come back for almost 2 weeks. But he keeps in touch with me and never forgets his appointments with me. And I'm busy with work too, so I don't mind a little time away.
My stomach hurts. I'm gonna go to the bathroom for a bit.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Looks painful. I'll help him get ready for his business trip tomorrow. Koji always keeps his study and car tidy. He does all the preparation for his business trip by himself, so I don't get to touch his personal belongings very often, but I wanted to at least get his underwear ready. Thinking this is the first time I've ever opened his bag without permission, I picked up his usual business bag. Then... Huh? What receipt is this? It's unusual for a meticulous man like him to leave a receipt in the bottom of his bag. I checked the receipt with a light heart and found it was from a coffee shop. Hot coffee caramel frappuccino, cream cheesecake. It's an ordinary receipt, but something felt off. Koji doesn't like sweet things. It was a small thing, but something really stuck with me. I had a bad feeling about it, so I kept looking around, and what I found was a credit card statement. Is this? There were names of women's clothing stores and restaurants I didn't know. This date. That's the date he said he was going on a business trip. Could it be that he lied to meet a woman? Further probing revealed a lip gloss under the bottom plate of the bag. A color I don't usually use. It's been used a lot. There's no way it was a present for me. I thought he was faithful. But was he cheating on me? And we've only been married for less than a year. My hands trembled with anxiety and anger. I wanted to question Koji right now. But I held back and calmed myself down. No, I can't. I can't question him without any proof. That's right. I needed evidence to proceed. I'll have to look into it once and for all. I took a picture of everything that could be evidence and put it back in its place, hoping that I was mistaken. No, I'll just keep the lip gloss. Intuitively, grabbing only the lip gloss, I returned to the living room. After a while, Koji came back from the bathroom.
Phew, I'm okay now. I'll take some medicine just in case.
Maybe your stomach got cold. Let's have something easy to digest for dinner.
Thanks, Shiho. You really are a good wife.
Am I? I spent the day with a smile on my face as usual to make preparations behind the scenes. The next day, after seeing Koji off to work, I called the company to let them know I was taking the day off. I'm glad it wasn't a busy time at work. This time last year, I was so busy that I left everything to Koji, even the submission of marriage certificate. I even took a paid day off to go to the investigation agency. I have my doubts, but I found a lot of suspicious things in my husband's bag. I explained the situation to the investigator in charge and showed him pictures of the credit card statements.
I see. With all this, it's understandable that you would feel the presence of another woman.
Yes,
And it would be a relief if nothing happened after looking into it.
I hope so.
Well then, I will accept your request. Now please, specify a date on which you suspect he might take action.
After consulting with him, I decided to contact him after his next business trip and have him tailed and questioned on that date. I really hope I'm mistaken, but my feelings were mixed. The next day, Koji came back from his business trip and I tried to act as normal as possible. It was difficult to try and avoid suspicion as much as possible, and the stress was getting to me. And about another month later...
I'll be on the road again next week.
Again? That's a lot of work. Be safe. Finally, the date of the business trip had been set, and the date of the investigation was decided. On the day.
If there's no trouble, I'll be back in one night. I'm off then.
Have a good trip. I've already sent in my request for an investigation. Now, I just have to wait. I went to sleep that day with mixed feelings of excitement and anxiety. A few days later.
Here's the report of this investigation, and the photographs. Most of the photos were taken in front of a detached house, presumably the woman's home.
So, he was meeting with a woman. I was surprisingly calm and I looked at the photos, checking each photo one by one as they were shown to me. The woman who appears to be the adulteress looks younger than me and has a calm look. The photo also shows Koji going in and out of a nice detached house, and in the picture of him coming out of the house, he was holding a young boy in his arms. A child? How dare he mess with a young single mother?
That may not be the case.
By that, you mean?
Koji Noguchi is his name, but his last name seems to be different from the one he uses at his workplace.
What?
Excuse me, but are you sure you're really married? To be sure, please get a copy of your family register from your local government office. And if you wish to continue the investigation, please do so afterwards.
I was speechless at the unexpected turn of events. I couldn't believe what I was just told at the investigation agency, but I couldn't go without checking the family registry at that point.
Thank you for your patience. Here's your copy of the family register.
No way. Although my information is on the family register, Koji's name was nowhere to be found. The word married was not written in the personal status. I'm not married? I finally understood what the investigator meant. I wasn't the one being cheated on. I was the one he was cheating with. I wrote a marriage certificate, but it was Koji alone who submitted it. I never noticed it at all because I never used the family register or resident registration. I feel like an idiot. I can't believe I was fooled so easily. Koji said he was changing his last name just so I wouldn't find out. Although I sorted it out in my head, I wasn't able to sort it out in my heart. I decided to head to Koji's real wife's house to find out the truth. Based on the address written on the investigation report, I took several train rides and finally arrived. It's the same house I saw in the photo. I'm sure of it. The nameplate reads Inoue, Koji's previous surname. Yes, who is it? My name is Shiho Noguchi. Are you Koji's wife? Yes, I live with Koji. We both may be getting deceived. Why don't we talk once? What? When she opened the door, the woman I had seen in the photo was standing there. She was more beautiful than she looked in the photo, small and slender, and a young boy clings to her leg. Is it true what you just said? Yes, it's going to be a long story. Could you let me in? Please. I was shown into the living room and offered a cup of tea. Glancing at the family photo of the three of them on the shelf, I told her everything. His real wife was Kanami-san, who listened quietly to my story until the end. 3 years. If you include the period of my relationship with Shiho-san, my husband had been living like this for 3 years! That's right. Oh, by the way, is this your lip gloss? Oh, it is. I couldn't find it anywhere. My son put it in there as a joke. Can I ask you about your relationship with Koji? Yes, of course. My husband and I went to the same university and met through a friend. We started dating shortly after, and 4 years ago we got married. We have been living together for 7 years now. I believed him when he suddenly told me he was going to be transferred to a new place by himself. If we put our stories together, it seems he lied about being transferred and moved in with me. I guess so. How could he? Kanami quietly shed tears, then changed her expression and looked straight at me. What are you going to do now, Shiho-san? I intend to end the relationship with him, but I also want to hear his apology directly from him. I don't intend to just let him go. I feel the same way. If you don't mind, I'd like to join forces with you. I think we'd hit it off. We decided to put up a joint front, both of us having been deceived by Koji. I'm glad Kanami-san was someone who was so understanding. Having an affair with such a nice wife like her is unforgivable. And of course, the fact that he neglected me too. And on that fateful day, Kanami-san left her child with her mother who lived nearby, and we set out on a mission of revenge.
I'm home.
Hey Koji, do you know Kanami Inoue?
What? Why all of a sudden? I don't know.
I got a phone call from someone by that name asking me if this is Koji-san's home.
Oh, that's right. I remember now. She's a receptionist at one of my clients' offices, and she's probably stalking me. It's scary, isn't it? I can't believe she even knows where I live.
A stalker, huh?
What?
When Kanami-san walked into the living room, Koji was frightened. I was just in the next room. What do you mean by stalker?
Koji, come clean!
This is unforgivable!
Dad? Mom? Why are you here?
Kanami called me to tell me that my son was doing something despicable, so I came here. What is this about?
Both your parents are still well, but you lie about them being insulated. Apparently, you go home with your parents twice a year.
This is... well...
This lying man probably had no way to cover it up when he was confronted with so much evidence, surprisingly quickly.
I'm sorry.
He got down on his knees crying, and finally admitted everything and started to confess. This kind of thing would be exposed easily if I looked into it. Didn't you think about that?
I knew I would get caught one day. I was too scared to say.
Would you have kept your mouth shut for the rest of your life if you could have kept getting away with it?
Well...
How could you ever cheat on me? I'm gonna make sure I get my alimony. You better prepare yourself. You've got a lot of work ahead of you. You better make amends.
I'll never let a traitor like you come home again! You're disinherited!
Then our discussion here ended, and Kanami-san left after throwing away her wedding ring. Koji's parents also apologized to me before following her and leaving.
I
don't know. This room is the one I lived in with Koji Noguchi. Why don't you go to a hotel somewhere, Koji Inoue, and don't come back while I'm here?
I understand.
The Koji I once fell in love with was nowhere to be found. I said goodbye in my heart to his pathetically rounded back. A few days later, I rented a new place and moved out. Then I went to a law firm to discuss the case, and they found that we were in a de facto marriage based on the length of our marriage and our relationship, and I was awarded a large amount of alimony. Kanami-san apparently obtained a divorce, as she declared, but she also obtained alimony and monthly child support as well, and it didn't end there. I reported everything to Koji's company just in case. Wouldn't it be painful if there are other victims? It looks like she's thoroughly pursuing the case. Koji also became a problem at the company, and although he wasn't fired, he was removed from the promotion course, and all the employees looked at him with that white eye, making him feel ashamed. He has no savings after paying a large amount of alimony, and he has to pay child support, so he can't quit the company. That may be tougher than quitting the company. He who runs after two hares will catch neither. As a result of greed and deceiving us for so many years, Koji lost his house, his property, his family, everything. I'm sorry, but I don't feel sorry for you. At best, you can go to hell.